Hello, and welcome to another episode of Burger Town Garage. And we're back with the Forester that we, in a previous episode, were pulling an engine, but you may notice things look a little bit different. And that's because they are. So, as you can see here, we have a whole freaking garage to work in now. We are no longer in the apartment. We are in a house. There's the Volkswagen. And along with the house, we have this lovely 2-car garage to work in. My Forester will be going here. This is Brian's Forester. We already got it moved over because we are going to be pulling the engine. We didn't finish pulling the engine because I knew I was going to have to move, so I didn't want to make work harder for ourselves. So there's only a couple of bolts and fuel lines holding this in. Don't mind the mess. I literally just moved in like a week ago, and then I got really sick. So I haven't had time to, organize literally anything, but went ahead and bought some fuel line tools here. Off of Amazon. They were like $6, I think, for all of them. And because we got to take off these fuel lines here. But other than that, I think the only other thing holding this thing in is going to be maybe 2 or 3 more transmission bolts down there. Bell housing bolts, I guess. And then, hell, that should be it. Brian is working on getting a hoist. I've already got an engine stand, but there's a surprise. There's actually more than one engine that's going to be in this garage at one time. Actually, potentially there could be 3 different engines in the garage at one time, so we may need to rent or borrow a 3rd engine stand. But so I'm not going to spoil too much just yet because it's not part of this project. It's part of the other one. But priority number 1 is getting this engine out so that we can get a JDM EJ2OX installed into this car and get it running and get it the hell out of my garage so we can work on the other more important fun stuff, which is my Forester with a 5-speed manual, and let's see, we got a CRV that we're going to be doing suspension work on. We've got a Hyundai Veloster that needs a clutch, a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, there's lots of content planned. I just gotta get over this, and then, because it's been like this for a week. I've been mostly out of commission. I haven't left the house mostly, but I'm attempting to do some stuff today. I'm feeling a little bit better, so we're gonna see how it goes. But anyways, that is the long-winded intro I'm apparently famous for. So I'm gonna get plugging away at this, and probably grab the tripod, set up a time lapse, and see how much we can get done. All right, update on the Forester situation. I did get it jacked up here, and I got jack stands underneath it. Get you flipped around here. So I went ahead and I got these fuel lines disconnected, which was, I believe, the only remaining connections that this engine had to the car itself. Other than, I think there's a ground strap that runs from the head to the frame down there. But I got all of the bell housing bolts out. I got all of the turbo downpipe bolts out. There is one stud, but we should be able to separate that. I do plan on pulling the downpipe as well. I just more focused on getting the engine out. If we have to pull the downpipe to get the engine out, no big deal. I'm prepared to do that. But actually, we are gonna go get a hoist right now because we don't have one. We just have one engine stand. So I guess I'll be back when we got the engine stand. We should be able to get the engine out today. Oh, forgot to mention, I also got the engine mount bolts out. So before anybody starts screaming at me, yes, those are already done. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have to do some fancy shit in the garage door. Please, down here. Ew. Oh, there's that ground I forgot to disconnect. Come down a little bit to get out of the garage. They are out. Okay, so as you saw there, sketchy engine removal. We got her swinging on the stand there. Gonna have to get the torque converter off because I couldn't get the bolts off. They seemed stuck or stripped, one of the two. So I ended up pulling the torque converter with the engine, which seemed to work out pretty good. It was a little tight, but everything in here looks okay. Other than that ground, but we can replace that, no big deal. So let me get this inside and get it on the stand. A little update, we got the engine out, and we've reached some somewhat disappointing news for me, not for Brian, the owner of this car. This is an EJ20X, I believe. You can't really see it, but there's an EJ20 notifier in there. And then also I noticed the AVCS plugs on the exhaust side of the valve cover. So this has already been swapped, which is good for him because now we know his engine is already tuned for this engine, which is great because we can just take that new engine, we can swap his intake manifolds and sensors over and turbo and all that, and we can just throw it into the new car, or throw it in here and maybe power wash this thing out and, you know, run it. Bad news for me is I was counting on the heads from this engine to mount onto my my EJ255 that I'm buying from a friend, but that obviously won't happen. So I'm going to see if I can't save those heads as is. There's a reason I'm questioning it, and you'll see that probably tomorrow or whenever he shows up with that engine. But he's also showing up with my car, so I got to get this whole area cleaned out. I think I'm just going to shove the engine in the stand back here behind his car. I need to clean all this up still. I haven't had time and blah, blah, blah excuses. So, oh, we also picked up, Brian picked up this hoist, which if you have used these, what are they, Power Torque lifts with the rams or hoists, it's a piece of crap. You gotta pump it about 800 billion times to get it up to engine height, and God forbid you have one of these levelers on it, because then you gotta lift. I damn near dented my garage door doing that shit. But anyway, so I thought you guys might like a little update. I'm gonna get cleaned up here. That engine or that long block is basically useless to me. I may rip it apart and see if some people want to buy pieces off of it, but it's knocking, so it's had metal run through the oil. It's had, you know, at least one bearing, if not more, shredded and run through the oil pump. So it's not a great donor for anything. But the intake, the sensors, the turbo, up pipe, all that stuff will transfer over just fine. And he will be good to go, and then we can get this piece of crap out of my garage. I may try to surprise him and do some redneck body work. He said he was going to buy a new fender anyways, but if we don't have to, then, you know, because right now the door won't open all the way. But that's going to be it for this one. Again, sorry I couldn't give you more of a action-packed video, but I'm still recovering from whatever sickness I've been plagued with for the last week. Not exaggerating. So, anyways, that's going to do it for another episode here at Burger Town Garage. And I know I said I'd give you a house tour, but I lied. I'm not going to do that because my house looks like shit still. And my backyard it's a backyard, who cares? I only cared about the garage for obvious reasons. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace.